Well, I'm here with Dana Dillard today, and we're here to talk about her new book, Jackfruit Leadership. Dana and I go way back since the Great Recession and have worked together over the years, and she has a deep history. And I just want to welcome you, Dana, and I'm excited to talk to you about your book.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to explore the new book with me. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, so Dana, okay, I had to look up jackfruit. I mean, I just, and I'm not from Texas. I don't know, like, it's an unusual name. Tell me a little bit about the title.
Well, I struggled with it, to be honest with you, because not it seems like people either have heard of jackfruit or they have no idea what I'm talking about. But the essence of it is that my book is based on the qualities of uniqueness and belonging.
Hmm.
They're really kind of the secret sauce for leaders. If you want to connect with the people on your team, those are the two things. And in the book, I present the research that backs that up. So, uniqueness to me represented the jackfruit. I mean, the
Yeah.
jackfruit is a very unique item at your grocery store if you've ever seen it there, and very versatile. Can be served hot or cold. Can be a meat substitute. Tastes differently depending on your taste buds. So it's very versatile and it's very unique. And so
Hmm.
I tapped into that piece of it for the uniqueness part.
Yeah.
So that's really where it came from. Plus, this is just interesting about publishing in general. Most of the purchases are on Amazon now, not in stores. And so you need a title that people can remember. So I'm hoping that Jackfruit Leadership is something that will be easy to remember for folks.
Well, it totally worked for me because I knew that title right away. And, I don't remember most titles. So there you go. I think that was a good angle. Um, well, you and I have both been in this industry a long time. I think maybe I've been even longer than you. I just don't say the years anymore. But you've been through a lot of wonderful leadership roles and worked for big companies and have made a big impact in our industry, in the mortgage industry. And it's been really interesting to watch you go back to school for a master's and decide you're going to write a book on leadership. You've already emulated great leadership. Um, Talk about your journey of this transition and why you did that and why you wrote this book.
Well, I've always loved leading people of all the things that I've done. I mean, we all know mortgage leadership can be fascinating.
Yeah.
Some of it can be kind of won't won't, but the part that never got me down was leading people and seeing how, why do some teams click and perform great and are enthusiastic, and why do other teams struggle? And it's hard to get them to pull together, and there's infighting and bickering and all those things. And that's just something that has naturally interested me. So I
Yeah.
did go back to school a couple years ago and got a master's in inclusive leadership. And that whole thing was just about tapping in to the best of people. And as a leader, how do you do that? How do
Yeah.
you take a team? Maybe you have a team of 20 people or a team of 25 people. How do you get them to work together, not against each other, and make that connection that, frankly, all of our employees are so hungry for?
Yeah.
So to me, this is a natural next chapter. So I have my 30 years of leadership experience in mortgage, which
Right.
I've loved, and I've loved all
Mhm.
the teams that I've been with. And then I have my new education that kind of fortified what I already thought about and already knew. And so the book is really a culmination that in each chapter, I present stories from my own career.
Mhm.
Then I put in the research that backs up what I'm talking about. And then
Right.
leave a 5-step action plan at the end of each chapter
Right.
so that people can make it really actionable. Like, if you want to be a better leader in this area, what can I do? And I give some good ideas for that.
Well, as someone who's been around a long time and had lots of different leadership roles, I will say when I read this book, I would then contemplate, oh yeah, do you remember that time when I was working here and this situation happened? And it was really interesting to me that every one of your chapters, it resonated with me somewhere along my long career. And I would just say your recommendations and process of handling things with grace, and then the proper things to do, or what was wrong about that situation. And of course, we as a society are evolving in many of these things that, when I think back 20 or 30 years, I won't even repeat some of what I've seen happen. I mean, it's a different time. We're getting better, I think, than worse. I hope there are some things improving. But Dana, what in your eyes would you say were your favorite things to write about, like the certain chapters?
Well, it's funny because when I sat down to write, it just kind of came spilling out. And I felt like I had so much to say. And as I tried to just organize my thoughts of, well, if I'm going to create, so the book has 20 chapters, so it's 20 different topics. And it's everything from leading parents, which I don't think we spend a lot of time on as a company because those years where you have little kids and need to do drop off and pick up and daycare closes at 6, those years are so fleeting
Yeah.
for employees, but we don't really encourage managers to work with employees during those phases. I tell a story in there about how when mine were little and I had 2 drop offs in the morning, that my manager called an 8 a.m. staff meeting every single morning.
Yeah.
And how much stress that caused me.
Yeah.
During that time because kids are so unpredictable and you know how that goes. You don't always hit your mark when you're wanting to. I felt like every day when I walked in the door, someone should give me a crown with some jewels because I had accomplished something. But I just talk about things like that. Another chapter on psychological safety, about how to create a trusting environment, how to create an environment where people want to share. I know a common complaint, and I've heard this from several clients, is they can't get people to talk in meetings.
Right.
People clam up, they don't share. And I offer some tools to kind of break through that. But all that really depends on trust and people feeling safe that if they say something, they're not going to get a lot of pushback or someone's not going to jump on them or get criticized for it. So I like that. And then I don't know, I did a chapter on working with people with disabilities. And I did that because I don't think anyone in my 30 years has ever talked with me about that.
Yeah.
And during my getting my degree, we discussed that, and I wrote a couple of papers on working with disabilities. Did you know that if an HR recruiting department has a person with disabilities on it, they're like 50 times more likely to hire people who have disabilities because they work with someone who they see how it works. So it's just things like that as leaders, many times we're so focused on getting the job done that we forget the job of leading. And forget the job of working with people.
Yeah, I think in some ways you've just scratched the surface. Is there another book in there, and from your perspective that you're thinking about?
Well, I have to say the whole self-publishing world has been very interesting to learn. I do feel like I've learned a lot along the way. And I do think there will be a Jackfruit Leadership for Women as book number 2. So I've got my outline ready to go. I just need, after we get this book launched, I just need to sit down and make it happen.
Well, I'm excited to see the next steps on your launch, and I just know it'll be successful. A million people in the mortgage industry, but this is, of course, transcends mortgage, right? This is leadership, inclusivity. It really resonated with me, and Dana, what a great accomplishment. I really admire that you did that and went back to school, and of course admire you for all of your great attributes. So thank you for sharing that with us. And can you share with this group how to get the book, Jackfruit Leadership?
Yes, it'll be on Amazon, and we're very close to going into pre-order. So our official launch date is October 17th, but don't be surprised if it's ready for pre-order a week or so before that. So Amazon, Jackfruit Leadership, and you should pop right up. There won't be too many duplicates.
Well, great job. And thanks so much, Dana.
Okay. Thank you for having me, Faith. I appreciate it.